So, where did we come from? What inspired us? Who the hell are we? You'll find out now in our AWO origin story. Stay tuned.
AWO Show, baby, for life.
For life.
For life.
For life, baby.
What's up, everybody? SplatMan here with another AWO show. And this is a special show today because you're going to find out who we really are. Where did we come from? Why did we do this show? Why did we choose the name? Why do we do it together? And I'm talking about together. I'm talking about me and my long, one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Mr. Gonzo Shark. What's up, buddy?
What's up, brother? Can you hear me all right? We're good?
Oh, I can hear you loud and clear, my friend.
All right. Money.
So today, Gonzo, brought it to my attention that all our fans really don't know who we are. So he had a great idea to do an AWO show origin story. And I thought it was an excellent idea. Let's let our fans know who we are, where we come from, because you need a little bit of our background story to get to know us a little better. So I'm down and I'm ready. I'm ready to clown around. So
I'm ready to clown around. That's good. So yeah, let's just tell the people a little bit about our past and our upbringing. I would say that neither one of us had a bad upbringing. I think we both had pretty good upbringings. Both had some solid parental figures in our lives for sure. And we grew up in New England and Rhode Island, smallest state in the country. And that's why I've been joking around today saying we're the biggest podcast from the smallest state. And even if that's not quite true yet, that's what I'm just going to keep in my head until it becomes true. But anyway, I feel like we grew up in a very diverse area. That we lived in a mill city that was very multicultural. A lot of people from many different ethnic backgrounds in different countries. And, going through the school system and everything like that, you got to see a lot of different stuff that you might not see, if you grew up somewhere else, like, Idaho or Nebraska or something like that. So I think we got a way to, we learned to be very open-minded early on in life. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
Because, and especially where we grew up, it's not the nicest place. It's not the worst place. It's gotten a lot worse. The city that we grew up in, I would say over the last 20 to 25 years. But when we were young, it wasn't as bad as it is now. And, but we didn't grow up with much to do. It's not like there was all kinds of stuff for us to do where we grew up. So I think that forced us to be creative. And we talked about that earlier before we started this video. And let's elaborate on that, bro. About how, what was our early inspirations and, our early dreams and kind of how they evolved to where we are now.
Yeah, we were just a couple city boys on the city streets. It's a tiny city, and not many people have heard of Woonsocket, but it's funny because it was on Jeopardy the other night, and I thought that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, and also Al Pacino got arrested in Woonsocket, so that's another thing that we can stamp for Woonsocket.
Oh, he did, and I didn't even know that.
He did.
I do know Joe Rogan stand up one time made fun of the people from Woonsocket. So I think he pretty much sums it all up. He called us a bunch of trash. Like, I don't know, but he didn't.
It's so true. It's so true.
He didn't have a very good time in Woonsocket, I guess. So the women are crackheads, and I don't even know what he said about the dudes. But fuck you, Joe Rogan. I hope you're listening.
But was he speaking the truth? I mean, in a lot of ways, and not everybody. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't generalize it like that, but in a way, it's still true.
It's we're such a small city, and I feel like sometimes the city gets a bad rep. They look at the city as in like a whole, but they look at it, they see certain things, and they think everybody's like that in Woonsocket. Every woman, every man in Woonsocket is a crackhead. We all don't work. That's just I feel like we have this image that that's not really true because there's great people in this city. And us two are examples of that. We might be a bunch of assholes, but we're great people. We stick together. That's what we do. We all stick together. We stay close. There's only a few out there that are really that kind of give us a bad name, But like you said, our childhood was good. We had a nice upbringing. Um, in my days, I did a lot of skateboarding. I spent a lot of time on the street skateboarding. Tagged here and there. Gonzo, I think you tagged a few times here and there with me.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, that's what I mostly did in my spare time was just skate in the streets of the city, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I learned so much from the streets. I learned so much skating. I just I we created a pack that will never let go. We'll always remember where we come from. Um,
Yeah, and that's the truth right there too, because we've always, even when we were in high school, even when we were younger, we always had a very family vibe amongst friends, our closest friends, and that's just carried through to till today. It's always been that way. Because there's the old saying, you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends, and you know people that you can really call your friends might be a lot less than what you think, at any given time. But it's nice when that you can actually name off real people that are true friends. That have stood the test of time. You guys have been through thick and thin, hell and high water together, and really formed a bond. And it's like that for you and me, and it's like that for us and a lot of our friends. And we actually have a really good sized group of friends, I would say, that we can actually say, yes, these are our friends. These are not just acquaintances or people that we might think are our friends, but they're really not our friends.
Yeah, and through life sometimes people spread apart. Because time goes by, people go off to college, people go straight to work. But it's a good thing about our friends. Like we don't have to talk for 2 or 3 years, but we know we're tight. We know we're family at all times. Time can pass us by, but when we meet each other, when we see each other, when we talk to each other, it's like we never left each other, and
Yeah.
that's what's great. That's when you got true friends, true family right there. It's all about the family. Um, Also, I think it's pretty funny. Me and Gonzo spent a lot of our childhood backyard wrestling. We were huge wrestling fans. We looked up to a lot of the greats, as you guys know, because our past videos we talk about wrestling and our days wrestling. Um, but we had some really fun, really rough times. Backyard wrestling can get pretty serious.
Not to cut you off, but I have to, bro. Let's just tell the people a little bit about the story um from 8th grade. The one I'm talking about, how we really had the whole like land and place to backyard wrestle that we didn't have before. So basically in 8th grade, we found the trampoline, and not even really out in the middle of the woods. I mean, it was out in the middle of the woods, but it was like in a patch of land that looked like it had been excavated for something, and nothing ever went there. But at some point they were going to put something there. And we just found this random trampoline out there. And it was actually right next to those big concrete circle things that we used to jump off of onto the trampoline. We moved it over there so we could jump off of something. You remember that?
Yeah, they're like huge sewer pipe type
Yeah.
things that they put in the ground, and they were stacked up. So we would do these crazy ass fucking wrestling moves off these concrete things, onto the trampoline, onto boxes, onto tables, onto little plastic bins. Man, I wish I had footage offhand because we could totally throw footage up there of us doing this shit.
I
And
know, but our footage is on like tapes, which is
yeah, but there's always a way,
Oh yeah, there's definitely a way.
There's a will, there's a way. That's what I always say.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, and I remember this one time where Gonzo wanted to give me a splash. He wanted to give me a nice frog splash, and yeah, I said, yeah, fucking do it. Just make sure you hit me right. And what does he do? His knees go right into my ribs. He doesn't even we don't even go chest to chest. It was more like knee to chest, knee to ribs actually. And I remember I couldn't even breathe for like 5 minutes straight. And I'm saying I'm fucking screaming, "Ah, my fucking ribs! My ribs are broken!" This motherfucker. Yeah, he was totally off point, but I love him. And
For the record, though, for the record, I did feel really bad about that.
yeah, you did, and I still made you pin me, and for the
But
3 count.
also, if you remember correctly, my receipt was a pedigree.
Was it?
Yeah, and that move sucked to take. We all know how much that thing sucked to take when
That's
if you didn't
true.
let go of the person's arms,
Yeah,
it
no
sucked.
face plant.
It face plant, and that was my receipt. I know that. I remember I fucking let you give me a pedigree.
And then I remember when our very very close friend, Mr. Scotty Jizzle, that you guys might meet one of these days in the video. I remember I put him on a plastic bin outside the trampoline, and so I used all my might to jump, get as much air as I can off that trampoline, and and fucking give him a big ass leg drop. It was it was it was more like a foot drop because I fucking planted my feet right on this guy's chest through this bin outside the trampoline, and I was so surprised he took it like he did, that tough motherfucker, because that was some brutal ass shit.
That was.
And, so back in those days, backyard wrestling, a lot of people did it. It was a big time when it was like backyard wrestling. You see like a commercial, order backyard wrestling tapes now, and like
Yep.
we were part of that. And we were a big fan of the Hardy Boys. At that time we were doing high flying shit. Um, Dude, I'll never forget those times. Those are some of the
Hell
best
no.
times in my life.
Hell yeah.
And
Some of the funnest times, bro.
yeah, it's just being young again and carefree, and just who finds a random trampoline in the woods, and that random trampoline became our trampoline. And that trampoline became a fucking trash pit because we just bring everything there: tables, boxes, bins, food, drinks. We even
Fry pans and shit.
we used that trampoline until it ripped a huge hole in the middle of it, and we couldn't use it anymore.
And that was a
But
sad day. That was a
it,
very sad day.
it was, and we tried to tape that shit up. We tried everything we could do to fix that, and nope. Every time we do it, we'd go right through the fucking thing.
Well, the hole just kept getting bigger and bigger no matter what we did. It was inevitable.
Yeah, it was.
But
And
I mean, hey, we got our use out of it because it was in pretty good shape when we found it. We were going there every single day.
oh yeah, I'd even bring girls up there.
Yeah.
It was a good spot. Rest in peace, trampoline.
Yes. Yes.
I'll never forget you, trampoline. You'll have a piece of my heart.
So
You'll always be in my heart.
I mean, I guess that kind of segues right into. I mean, I think I can speak for both of us and say that one of our earlier dreams in life was when we were young, we both wanted to be wrestlers.
Oh, yeah,
That's
big
for
time.
sure. But obviously that didn't come to fruition. And honestly, I think that we just thought we wanted to be wrestlers. I'm not
Yeah,
so sure
no.
that we really wanted to be wrestlers.
Well, I mean, watching wrestling two nights a week was very, it got us very inspired to be like these guys, to have that energy, and to just get out there and just put our body on the lines. We really did love it at that point in time. And just I think my name was the Sickness.
Yeah, I think so. The Sickness, and
Yeah, and
I was Loco.
yeah, you were Loco. I was the Sickness. I came up with that name because I loved Disturbed. In that album, I think was called The Sickness.
Down with the Sickness.
Down with the Sickness. Yeah, I think that was even my intro music.
It was.
So,
It was.
and I think I had the Pole of Destiny for a little while until one of you motherfuckers stole it from me.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. We didn't have a title belt, so we had a Pole of Destiny.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That was awesome. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
like this steel pole we'd
Dude.
carry around with us.
And then it served the second purpose as a weapon, so it worked out well.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But so like I know for me, uh, those that stuff kind of changed for me. Once I was starting to go through high school, I started to become more inspired by other things because I I always enjoyed writing, and the thing that got me inspired to really like write, and the thing that showed me that I actually could write was in, I don't know, second grade. Excuse me. In second grade, there was like some poetry thing, and in the English class, and our teacher, Mrs. Brell, which you weren't in our school yet at that point, but she wanted everybody to write a poem. And right away, I didn't want to do it because for whatever reason, just being like a little punk kid, I'm like, poetry's stupid or whatever. I don't want to do it. And I remember her telling me, like, just do it. You never know. Like, for all you know, you could write a really good poem or something. So I'm like, all right, I'll do it. So it was right after the Columbine shooting. So I just thought, well, I guess it's fitting to write a poem about this because I've already heard so much about it. And it seemed, for whatever reason, I felt like it was something that I had a little bit of passion about to actually write about. So I did. And I remember her coming up to me and being like, this poem is amazing. See, I told you, and this and that. And she liked it so much that she was like, I have some like connections and I'm going to try to get this published in a book if I can. And as it turned out, she did. She got it published in a book. She gave me a copy of the book. So I remember being, only like 7 years old, and I was really proud of that. And that really inspired me to write. So then fast forward to, high school, I really got into writing again. But at that point, I really got into filmmaking. And I really fell in love with film and just like kind of studying movies and, the way that they were made and, how they use different techniques to make the audience feel a certain kind of way and different techniques to get certain kinds of shots and all that stuff. I just fell in love with it, and coupled with writing. So, I mean, that was really what I kind of dreamed about after that, was creating, film and content like that, and writing and creating stuff like that. And I know that I don't know if there was any gap for you between, dreaming about being a wrestler and then really like falling in love with filmmaking and wanting to do that sort of stuff, or if you kind of just went from one thing to the next, because that's kind of what happened with me.
Well, besides being wanting to be a professional wrestler, also I from a lot of my high school days, I wanted to be a professional skateboarder because that's what I did with a lot of my time. I skated, I watched skate videos, and honestly, it's skate videos are what like kind of fireworked in my mind, like what I want to do. And I never really connected the dots at first, because when I was younger, ever since I can remember, preschool, kindergarten, I always loved, watching movies. And what made me so passionate about them was the music to the scenes. And I remember sitting there all the time, with my wrestling figures or my GI Joes. I fucking GI Joe is like the number one toy in my life. Me and my brother would play GI Joes until all day, every day. But I would play with these GI Joes, and I would put them to music, and I'd kind of make them like, acting out scenes from movies, to music, even slow motion with my action figures, using my hands and shit, like during different scenes, softer music and stuff like that. And like it never really hit me that that could be something I would do for a living. Make scenes, make films, be a filmmaker, put music to it, what sounds good, what looks good. And that didn't really like click in until high school. I started watching these skate videos all the time, and like it inspired me to make skate videos of me and my friends. And I would put my favorite part about it was putting music, making these skate moves look good with music, because when you can match a skate trick, to a piece of music, I love that. I loved, what made a good skate video was like music. Not all the time, because as PJ Ladd would say, golden silence is golden. He didn't have music in one of his videos, and it was It was great. But I loved putting music. I loved choosing different types of music to put to skating, and that kind of inspired me, to take video classes in high school. And the next, it's transitioned into regular music videos, and then it transitioned into film, different scenes, it then animation, so on and so on, and I fell in love with it. Um, I did end up going to school for film. It didn't last too long. I didn't stay in school. It's a bad thing, but it's also a good thing because I think if I stayed in school, I wouldn't have my little boy today. Because as soon as I left that week, I left school, I found out my girlfriend was pregnant, and it kind of just worked out. And he's my pride and joy, so I can never regret leaving school. Um, but yeah, ever since then, I just always been passionate about it. We've had friends with bands, we've had friends that you made music, and I was the one at first that they went to make their music videos. I didn't always have the best equipment, the best software, but I still got done. Raising a little boy, seeing my friends, working as a chef, and then making music videos and short films. That's what I did on the side. But honestly, when I think of anything, now I paint cars, and I absolutely love paint cars. But what I do when I paint cars, I film them. I make little videos for them. I know video is just what I'm ultimately passionate about, and I don't think that'll ever fade away. Um, One day I'm hoping to have my own production company, maybe direct a couple films. I've directed a short film with us, that, but
Yeah, yeah.
it wasn't the best, and it was kind of we did I think we did it in one night. We filmed it in one night, and we just worked with what we had. But I'll always remember that. But yeah, that's where my passion is, and I feel like that's kind of where me and Gonzo have led to this channel. You as fans of our channel, that we do a lot of our videos on movies. When it comes to movie quotes, death scenes, greatest villains, our greatest actors we've talked about. You know, um,
Greatest
you know,
movies in
yeah,
general we've talked about, and there's so many other things that we could talk about that we haven't gotten to yet, obviously.
but yeah, and I feel like movies are kind of what inspired us to make this channel. Besides movies and wrestling. I mean,
Mhm.
when you think of AWO, and when you look at our AWO picture, our pretty much
Logo.
our logo, it should remind you of the New World Order, the NWO. Um, that's just our inspiration. That's where we got it from. That's our childhood. When we look at that, it means a lot to us, and it just
Yeah.
fit. It just fit. And honestly, we got our opinions, and we're a bunch of assholes. So assholes with opinions.
Yeah.
AWO show. It
And
just fit.
I remember we finally decided to make, we were going to do the show, and we were like, I remember you said to me, well, what should we name it? And I was literally like taking a shit, and you texted me that, and I remember like I hadn't even thought about what to name it at all. And I remember I thought for about a minute, and then I thought to myself, I'm like, what about like assholes with opinions? I'm like, I think that would be a pretty good name. But I also thought it was kind of a joke. Like, if you would have said, are you kidding me, dude? Like, really, I don't want to name it that. Like, I would have been cool with it. You know what I mean? Because I thought it was kind of funny. And then I remember saying it to you, and you're like, dude, I love that.
Yeah, dude.
And
I jumped right on that shit.
and then it was, within freaking 2 minutes, we were like, well, it's AWO. And then I remember we both like basically simultaneously thought, NWO logo, AWO, like that, doesn't that work out? So I think that's just kind of how it just all worked out perfect, and it really was a symbol of like what we stood for. You know what I mean? Because like we just talked about, we're coming from a small city, and we both had very similar dreams with like filmmaking and stuff, and we didn't really like go to school or move to Hollywood or anything like that. We just kind of did stuff on our own over the years, and it brought us to where we are now. And we have a lot of different sources of inspiration. So that's really what the AWO thing is all about. in the logo. Is just that's one source of inspiration was the NWO for sure. But I want to back up just a little bit too, briefly, and just say like so in high school and everything like that, I took some classes on filmmaking and screenwriting and stuff like that. But then in my senior year, I started messing around with painkillers, and over like 5, 6, 7 years, even 8 years, maybe even 9 years. I'm not even sure how many years, but I got more and more addicted to them. So my dreams that I had before I started doing that sort of shit, and the dreams that we both had, they kind of went out the window for me just because I really became a bad drug addict over a period of time. And then I got my shit together and got sober. And that's when I kind of found myself again, because once I got sober, I realized that like I didn't know what to do with myself, because all I did before that was just take drugs when I wasn't working or when I wasn't doing something that I had to do. And I eventually got to the point where I couldn't function without it, and I needed it like every day. Um, and then I
And
really, what's that?
I think that's the period of time too that we didn't even see each other that much.
Never, barely ever.
We you were kind of stuck in your hole. I was there for you no matter
Oh
what. But
yeah.
being a young father and trying to raise a little boy, I was just my mind was somewhere else.
Well,
You
plus,
know,
dude, I was in massive denial. You know what I mean? Like I hid that shit from so many people, and even the people I didn't hide it from, I made it seem like, like I got my shit under control. Like, what are you talking about? And people, I guess I don't know how many people bought that, but the shit really didn't come to a head until like years later. You know what I mean? And then when I realized when I got sober and I realized like I don't know what the fuck to do with myself, I started just going back. I started thinking and reflecting back to like before I started taking drugs and the dreams that I had and stuff like that. And that was when I, started writing again, got back into wrestling just because I thought maybe it would help me, go back to the old me a little bit, and get the drugs and all that shit out of my head and out of my life. And around that time is when I really realized like, holy shit, with Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, I'm like, dude, like the fact that we didn't go to college, the fact that we don't have some degree in filmmaking and all this other shit, I'm like, it doesn't even fucking matter anymore. Like we can make anything we want and get it to as many people as we try to get it to. And I really realized that. I'm like, I saw what everybody else was doing, all these different content creators on, all those platforms, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. And I'm like, some of these people, like, I'm watching people become famous from this shit. You know what I'm saying? Over the years, I'm like, damn, like people are really taking this shit seriously because now there's a platform to get it out there. And when we were in high school and stuff, there wasn't that. You know what I mean? If we wanted to make any type of content, do anything creative, do anything with filmmaking or writing, we would have had to have moved to LA, or we would have had to have moved to New York, or even Boston or something, and just grind it, to try to get it. But now it's like there's so many different avenues and platforms that you can get your content out there. And that's what I realized. And, that really, I really started searching for sources to write, the like websites to write for. And I did, and I'll always be thankful for that. I'll always be thankful to Vince Russo and Bill Apter for letting me write for their sites and get my name out there to people. And then that really brought us to the show. That really brought us to the point where we said, we got to do this, because we started talking a lot more and seeing each other a lot more, now that I was sober, and you got your life really stable. Not that it was ever unstable, but you got your life really stable and had your shit locked down. It was just like the perfect time,
Yeah, I know, and I love your story, dude. It's so inspirational because you were down in the dirt and you picked yourself back up again. You brushed your knees off and you moved on. So, our fans watching, you can overcome anything, anything in life. You just have to put your mind to it and decide what you really want. for
Yeah.
your life. You know, make those better choices to make your life better. You know, if you have something that you put in the back burner all the time that you've always been passionate about and that you want to do, but something like drugs or alcohol is in the way, take some
Get that
time.
get that
Take
shit
some
out of
time.
there. Get it out, man.
Stop putting your inspiration in the back burner. Make it happen. And we're a very good example of that because just this following year, making this channel, we're making our passion happen. We might maybe not have we haven't reached a point of making our films yet, solo films yet, but we're gonna get there. This
Of
is one
course.
step. Life is about steps. Take one step at a time. Put one foot in front of the other, like they say. Yeah, your whole story is very inspirational. I kind of had a speed bump in my life. I was involved with a house fire. Um, I actually lived on a third floor apartment. Me and my girl split up for a while, and it was just me and my son. Um, and thank God he wasn't there that night. He was with his mother, but the guy next to me on the third floor, he fell asleep with a cigarette. Which is a fucking horrible thing to do, and I was pretty shitty that night. I was drunk. I smoked a couple bowls, I think. And I woke up. Well, thank God for my dog because my dog's probably the only reason why I woke up that night. You know, um, he was biting at my feet, and I think the first time I woke up, I remember telling him, Brady, shut up, Brady, stop. And then I went back to bed, and I must have woke up, a few minutes later because he was really biting at my feet. And I looked up, and I just see smoke filling up my room, and you know one of the scariest things I had to do. I just woke up and I didn't know what to do. Everything I've worked for, living alone, everything my son had, his toys, his blanket he came home from the hospital with, his first outfit, they were all in that apartment. And all I could do is just think, get out, get out. So I picked up my dog because he was right next to me the whole time. Everywhere I went, I felt his fur on my leg because I was just in my boxers. I picked him up, and I had to run through my kitchen. And the kitchen is where the fire went to at first, right after the other guy's apartment. And I didn't even think about the fire exit in my room. My fire exit was right near my bed, and I didn't even think of that. I just ran right through the kitchen, and I remember just being in my boxers, and there's glass shattering everywhere from the windows, and my feet got all cut up. My back got a couple cuts from the glass, and just the heat of the fire was so intense. Like you don't, people can describe it to you all you want, but you don't really know until you're surrounded because it is like your body's on fire. It is hot. Um, and the fucking smoke. I don't even know how I got by the smoke. But I picked up my dog. I ran out. I just said my mission was to get out, and that's what I did. I got out. I was the last person out besides another guy, and he ended up passing away in the fire. I think about him every day. I wasn't that close to him. I didn't know him that well, but he was a good guy. I know that, and he was very, very friendly with my child. Um, so yeah, I got out, and I think about it all the time. It sucks. We lost a few pets. Um, we lost a lot of our shit, but most of the shit was material things. And sometimes material things aren't everything. You gotta pick yourself back up, and you gotta move on. It was very hard to move on. Believe me, I thought about that night all the time. I still do sometimes. I go to bed thinking about it, but I know I'm strong. I know my son's healthy. I know I'm healthy. We have a strong family. I got great friends, and I just have to move on. And I
Yeah.
did. Every day gets better and better and better. So when you think you're down, when you think the life when you think the world is coming down on you, is crushing over you, there's always light to be seen. There's always a way out. Just reach for that light. Just get out like I did. Just get out of your bad habits. Get out of your little bubble. There's a whole wide world out there that's waiting to see you shine. So shine.
Yeah, bro. I Dude, believe me, your story is inspirational too because like you said, nobody can relate to that or, say that they know anything about something like that unless it happened to them. It's never happened to me. Um, and it's not like it happens to a lot, everybody or a large number of people can say, oh, yeah, this happened to me in my life. I survived a house fire. Um, and especially like, just being on the third floor. And I mean, I know the house. I went to your apartment. It just, that's crazy, and it's when you lose everything like that, it's tough to, uh, I'm sure it's tough. It's real tough to fucking move on from that, and I'm proud of you for moving on from that and, just making an effort every day to just get stronger and stronger and, move a little bit further and further away from that happening. Um, so I think that we both had solid foundations considering our upbringings and the life and the things that have happened in our lives over the years. Even more things that we're not going to totally discuss right now, obviously, because we don't have that kind of time, but just different things that have happened and everything we've seen has given us a solid foundation for where we're at now. you know um and
Yeah, and I'm a heavy believer of, everything happens for a reason. I'm not saying the fire was a good thing. I'm not saying your drug habit was a good thing, but we learned from it. We grew from it. Everything happens for a reason. There's a reason why us humans aren't perfect. There's a reasons why we go through certain shit in life that sucks. You know what it does? It just makes us stronger.
that's it.
It reminds me of a quote. It reminds me of a quote from Batman. Um, why do we fall? To learn to pick ourselves up again. Bottom line, that's what life's all about. Life's not gonna be fucking cheese and wine all the time. Life,
Cheese
life's
and wine.
life's not gonna be fucking beautiful flowers, roses. Life's not gonna be about fucking a nice big draft beer that you can guzzle down and feel nice about. Life's gonna fucking tear you down sometimes, but you just gotta fucking overcome it. You just gotta fucking just become the beast that you are. Live life to the fullest,
Yeah.
and we're doing that step by step.
Yep. And I just want to say too is that uh our what us talking about where we just came from as far as you had the fire however many years ago that was, probably like 6 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever. And I went through 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, however many years it was of drug addiction. And then, I think that we both really turned our lives around from, our lowest points. And we've only been, just getting better and better in life, which is a great thing. I'm proud to say that. And, I try not to be prideful, but I am proud to say that, because it was something that I didn't think I ever could do back then. And I proved myself wrong, and learned a lot about myself in the process. So it feels good for me, and I know it feels good for you to be where we're at now.
It does. It absolutely does. And like you said, we don't try to be too prideful, but you gotta have a little pride in life.
Yeah,
You can give yourself a pat in the back a few times.
you have to.
Just because it feels good. It feels good. We're not 100% here, but it feels damn good that we're getting better.
Yeah,
And it just and having a child. I hope my son will. Well, I think he does. He looks up to me, and just to know that we all go through certain shit in life. Just stay focused. Stay focused.
yeah. I mean, life wasn't meant to be easy, and I know I went through a lot of bad shit and a lot of hard shit, and I know you did, and I'm sure anybody watching this right now has too. And like you said, we all just have to remember that it's all peaks and valleys. That's the way I look at it. It's just peaks and valleys, man. You hit a valley, just keep fighting to get to that peak. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
All
so
right. Well, enough of this fucking
yeah,
sobbing, fucking bullshit stories. We're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
fucking cry to our microphones and our fans.
Yeah, I
No, let's
think,
let's 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 get with it, Gonzo.
I think that I think that we covered enough of our backstory right now. So let's move a little bit more to the right now. And let's talk about our names that we use for the show, which are obviously not our birth names. Um, I'm going to tell everybody how my name came about, but why don't you go first and tell everybody where the legend of SplatMan came from?
The legend of SplatMan. Where did I get the name SplatMan? Do you wonder? Do you want to know why? Well, even if you don't, I'm just going to tell you because that's my job on the show. So SplatMan, it wasn't always SplatMan. It came to be a Splat at first. Um, so my name is Pat. My name is Patrick. So a lot of people called me Pat. They still call me Pat, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the name Pat. I'd rather be called Patrick.
Hey,
You know,
Patrick's my middle name too, bro. So
yes, it is. I know
yes,
that.
sir.
So yeah. When I was in the 8th grade, I used to, I loved skateboarding. I dressed as a skater. I had this sweatshirt that said Split on it. I don't know if Split still makes clothing, but if people remember that, Split I think was a brand of
It was.
clothing.
It was.
Split. So I had this hoodie. It was a gray hoodie, a dark gray hoodie with red lettering that said Split. So, hanging out with Gonzo, hanging out with ODs, Mr. We called him Mo, I think, for a little while.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hanging out with Jizzle. I fucking forgot what his nickname was, but
Pimp Master Flex.
Pitmaster Flex, Scotty Too Hottie, one of those fucking D'Artagnan. I don't even know one of those fucking names. So my friends kind of put the two and two together. They always wore that Split sweatshirt. I think I wore that every day in the 8th grade because I was obsessed with it. I think I wore it to the ground too. It was all holy and fucking stained and shit. But yeah, so they put two and two together, Pat and Split, and I got Splat. And ever since then, a lot of my friends called me Splat. I had a couple nicknames between Patty Mac and Splat. But it kind of, being a comic book fan as I got older, being obsessed with Batman all the time and all that shit. I started up a YouTube channel, I think in like 2010. It's still up there as the Splat Man. So if you want to search me, it's Splat Man. And I got a couple videos up there that have a good amount of views. My focus is on the AWO show now, though. So just I was thinking there. I think in 2010, it might have been 2011. I was trying to think of a good name to make my YouTube channel, and a lot of my videos were inspired by comic book movies, or comic book cartoons, the old Batman cartoon and all that shit. So one day I was, just playing around with Photoshop, and I took a Batman symbol and I kind of just put the two and two together, Splatman, and Splatman was created. And ever since that, I've been riding that. Yeah, and I fell in love with it, being called Splat all the time. My fans can call me Splat or Splatman. But yeah, that's where Splatman originated from, and I'm the Splatman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's I mean, even though I'll be honest with you, my girl uh doesn't like your name. And I'll say it right out there right now. She's like, "Really? That was the best you could come up with?" But she doesn't know the story. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
mean
She doesn't know the story, and that's it. So that's why I just tell her to shut the fuck up every time. No offense.
yeah,
I love her. I respect her, but sometimes I got to tell her,
yeah, you got my back.
I got your back.
That's how it is.
Yes.
And when we first started this show too, me and you talked about it. I was gonna change my name because I didn't think Splatman sounded right for our type of show. I didn't feel like it flowed very well. But I stayed true. And I was when I think of Splat, I always think of my childhood. I always think of my friends. So I stayed true and added the man and just kept Splatman, and I'm Splatman today. And if she doesn't like it, she's gonna have to fucking live with it.
And she will. She will.
And that's all there is to it.
That's it. And the thing is too is that you actually said it to me. You were like, "Dude, Splatman and Gonzo. It's like Batman and Robin." But we've both been such huge Batman fans, growing up and over our whole lives. And, then that just felt right, and, I'll go ahead and say where I got my name from. And honestly, my name, I came up with it on a whim, to be honest with you. I think I came up with my name, when I decided to make a Twitter. And this was like, right after I started going through rehab and getting sober and realizing like, there's a lot of content that can be seen out there, and I got to start getting on these platforms and getting my name out there. So the first thing I did was I made a Twitter, and, I had to come up with a name, and Gonzo Shark was the name I came up with. And to give a background of how that name even came to be was I'll start with the second part first, the shark. I was at a point in my life where I knew that I was basically fighting for my life, because I knew, like, deep down inside, no bullshit. And I will tell you this man to man right now. And I will tell everybody that's watching this right now that I got to a point in my life where I really felt like if I don't do something about this now, if I don't get my shit together and pick myself up and start being the fucking warrior that I know I am, I'm going to die. Like I legitimately felt like I was going to die. And I honestly can sit here right now too and say, like, I feel like there was many a times where I probably could have died, and I just didn't, because I was taking so much shit and putting so much bad shit into my body. So I just developed this mentality when I started going through rehab, and I really started focusing on getting my shit together and getting sober and getting my life better, that I had to be like a shark, and I smelled the blood and I just had to go for it. And I really, told myself and taught myself that that's the way I have to live my life. You know what I mean? Because I've already wasted so much time, between not doing the right shit after high school and then getting really addicted to drugs for so long. And, now I'm older when I could have been doing the shit that we're doing right now 12 or 13, 14 years ago. But instead, I chose a different path, and I don't regret that, because it made me the person that I am today. But I had that in my head, like, I have to be like a shark. I have to go for the kill when I smell blood, no matter what. And the first part of the name, Gonzo, really came from one of my biggest inspirations in life, Dr. Hunter S. Thompson. I really fell in love with his books and his writing style, and just his whole story and everything about him, and everything that he stood for. I just could relate to and resonate with so well. And that really kind of started back in, high school. And then the more I learned and the more I read and everything like that, it just kind of got more and more important in my life and more inspirational, and became a bigger part of my life and who I was. And, his whole thing was Gonzo journalism. If you don't know what it is, you can go look it up. Go look up Hunter S. Thompson. He basically pioneered his own style of journalism, which was considered Gonzo journalism, and that really he took that to stand for a lifestyle because of the person that he was, and that was just his lifestyle. So that's where that came from for me, Gonzo Shark, and that was it. And I kind of came up with it on a whim, for my Twitter handle when I created a Twitter, and I got a lot of good feedback on it, especially when I started writing. People liked the name. People even wanted to know how it came about and, my story and everything like that. So I wrote some articles, within the past couple of years on different websites about, my story and where the name came from. But that's it, man. And I love my name. I fucking love it.
Well, just so you know, dude, my girl
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like your name.
Nah, man.
Nah, she loves it. I'm just
Oh,
fucking
shit, dude. I was going to say,
you.
wow, dude. Isn't that
No,
ironic?
no, your name is cool as shit. I always wondered where the shark came from because you never explained that to me. But I love it, and it mixes well. It just flows. Gonzo Shark, So yeah, dude, SplatMan and Gonzo,
Yep.
the SplatMan and Gonzo Shark.
The dynamic fucking duo.
Yes, we'll be together forever, my friend. You know
Yes,
this.
sir. Yes, sir.
We could be fucking 80 making these YouTube videos.
That's right, man. Let me get my walker. I gotta go pee.
YouTube would probably be like MySpace is now to Facebook, but we'll still be on it.
Yeah, right. Right.
But
uh,
yeah, that's nice to hear your little backstory, your name, and
likewise,
that's just
likewise.
who we are, um, and I love it.
Yeah,
I learned to love my name even more every show we do, and just
exactly.
and and even if I want to change it, I can't change it. I'm too deep in there.
Yeah.
I'm in too deep.
Yep. Yep.
So
All right, so let's move on to what I would say is probably the last segment of the show, and I guess we could talk a little bit more about the concept of the show, and then we're gonna talk about what we see the future of the show being and where we intend to take it. Um, so I mean, the concept of the show to me is simple. Uh, everything that we're putting out there is based on our opinions. We haven't, well, we do a lot of the countdown shows. We do a lot of just shows on different topics. Just like a general podcast, which I love. It's fun. It's awesome to just talk and shoot the shit and go over all these awesome topics that we love and hold so fucking near and dear to our hearts. But obviously, we love filmmaking and we have a lot of, ideas for making short videos to put on the channel, short films, different concepts that we've talked about that we haven't really delved into completely yet. But as of right now, the way I see it is, it's a podcast and we're just kind of growing and experimenting with different ways that we can or different directions that we could take it in and different ways we can improve the show. And then just, I'm sure that anybody that's been watching us from the beginning has already seen the vast improvements of the show in just like 9 months. Cause I think we've only been doing this for 8 or 9 months. But I mean, even me, when I go over our videos and, go through my editing, all the stuff that I've edited on my laptop, I can see it. I can see like how much we've improved just the look of the show. Ourselves, our delivery, how comfortable we are with it now. So it's only going to get better. Like everything that we talked about, it just comes full circle. You just stay focused and you just have a plan and keep the goals in mind and just believe in hard work. Cause I mean, that's really what it's been for me too. Since I got sober, it's just, I've really learned to believe in hard work because it's gotten me so far. In the last 5.5 years or 5 years, however long it's been that I've been sober now, I'm not totally sure. And I just think to myself, damn, man, if I would have like gotten this in my head back when I was like 18, I mean, I feel like I could be a fucking millionaire right now, but it doesn't matter. I'm happy with where I'm at because I know that I'm stronger than I would have been before. But yeah, why don't you elaborate a little bit on the show and how you feel about the future of the show and what we're going to do?
yeah, well, I don't like I kind of feel like we have the go with the flow mentality. We kind of just, we come up with a topic and we just go with it. And we just hope we find fans that find us interesting, find our topics interesting. We really are, a bunch of nobodies right now, but to us we're somebodies, and we do have fans out there that know who we are, and we just want to, we want to put our voice to, certain things that we love, examples, movies. I mean, we're always talking about movies, movies we're very passionate about. And I can't really put a name on our channel. Like, can you, Gonzo? Can we like put one name on what our channel stands for?
But
I
what I call it?
What?
A variety show.
Yeah, that's actually a perfect word to use, the variety show, because we cover a whole shitload of different topics. We really do. I mean, we don't try to be all over the place. We find something that we're interested in, and we say, hey, dude, you want to do a show on this? You want to do a show on this? Yeah, let's do it. Let's get on it. And that's what we do. And we like you said, our progression has been great. I think when I go look at our first couple of videos that we made, we're just, I know I was very shaky, on the microphone. I was I didn't really have much to say. I was kind of worried what the world would think about me. But just growing, month after month, is just, I don't give a fuck attitude. I'm gonna do what I do. And if you fans don't like it, you don't have to watch it. But we're gonna be here and we're gonna keep doing this because we love to do it. and it keeps it gives us a pastime to lead something great,
And
and we'll.
I not to cut you off, but I have to say it. I also feel like it gives structure for me, at least.
It
To do this. Try to schedule it. Try to get all the different things done that we need to get done to get the show up. It helps with that structure.
Absolutely. And I think, like Gonzo said, like it's going to lead to other things. I feel like this channel, we're going to still be making these awesome shows. We're still going to be talking about different topics, whether it's movies, TV shows, wrestlings, reaction videos, giving information out there to our fans that maybe they haven't heard of. We did a Hulk Hogan video the other day about his Hulk Hogan movie. And, maybe a lot of people that didn't hear about that. And so we want to put that news out to you. Also, I've been, Gonzo's a great writer. I've also been writing. I've been thinking of I really want to make a YouTube short, like kind of like a YouTube show,
Like a series.
like a YouTube series. And I think our channel is gonna, step by step, is gonna get to that point.
Absolutely.
Before you know it, you're gonna see a red bell alert you, and you're gonna see the very first episode, of the show I've been working on, and I really want to do that, and as I got as I have the time right now to talk to you people, I mean, I'm ready to pick up I'm ready to do what I'm very passionate about. I'm ready to make music videos for my friends again. I'm ready to, you make these movie trailers, make them even better, and put them on the show. Like I just want eye catchers. I want people to, watch our shit and be like, wow, these two are interesting. Wow, that fucking video was dope. Wow, the music they chose for that video was fucking insane. I never even heard of that band. Who is it? I just see our channel growing, so much, just being just having the channel for the last 8 or 9 months, whatever it is, just to see the progression, that we have is just, it's inspirational to me, to myself, to just keep working on it. Cause I know it's going to get better and better and better and better. And, I just, one day, hopefully we'll be on everybody's fucking iTunes radio, or I don't know if Pandora does podcasts. They probably fucking do. I don't know, iHeartRadio. Listen to us. Just that's where we want to be.
And we can get there. We can
Yeah.
easily get there.
And you know what? Going back way back actually to the start of this video, when we're talking about our childhood in the city we grew up with, we have a lot of great things around us. I feel like the city has so much potential for, movies, for TV shows. We have so much scenery that
Yes.
would look great on film. And we also have a stadium theater that is just it's been there for, I don't even know how long. I know a very, very long time. And I've always said this, my very first, whether it's my very first independent film or my very first, my YouTube series. Obviously, it's going to be on YouTube, but one night we're going to have a red carpet night in our home city, and it's all our people are going to go and watch it, and it's just going to feel so good. It's going to I can't wait for that day, and just by us having this YouTube channel is inspiring me to just do more, do
Yeah.
more,
And
do more.
that's all it's been for me for the last 9 months too, because obviously we didn't know how things were going to go when we started doing this. Neither one of us had neither one of us were fully set up or equipped to do it, but we just kind of, put the pieces together as we went. And just got more and more, equipment and, more ideas, obviously, and just, refine the concept and, got more in tune with what we really wanted to do. And it's just been a progression, like you said. But that's the thing too, is like, I don't even look at time. Like, I don't even look at time anymore. I don't give a fuck about time. It doesn't mean shit to me. Like, I could not wake up tomorrow. So what the fuck does it even matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't even look at time. Like I said before, I just believe in hard work. You just keep grinding. You just keep working. You stay focused and things will happen, and it's like, what we were talking about earlier, like just seeing the progression of our channel. It's like, it's not like I'm looking at that every day and thinking about that every day. Just every now and then, you have a little bit of time where you can step back and smell the roses a little bit and kind of reflect a little bit, and then I feel like it's those points, at least for me, when I realize like, shit, man, like that even happened to me today. I'm like, wow, I did this at this point and then this happened. But before that, I was feeling like this and like this never would happen or whatever. And I just realized all the different steps that brought me to where I am now. And I'm like, damn, like, holy shit. And then I think about then I go back to the time and I'm like, wow, that was like no time. That happened in no time, So that's why I don't even think about time. And I'm just like, hey, if we have a stadium theater fucking premiere of our short film, our independent film or something, it's 15 years from now, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Like, I just believe in hard work every day, and that's it. And you'll get to where you want to be.
Seriously, it's all it takes is hard work. You put your mind to it. You put your all into it. It's gonna come. It's gonna come true one day. It's just gonna happen. You know. But yeah, that's our channel in a nutshell, I guess. that's what we're all about.
That's the origin story of the AWO show. That's and dude, I honestly I feel like we just cranked out a really fucking good show. And I feel like, um this show will actually have the ability to do exactly what we intended for it to do, and what my vision of it was when I came up with the idea was to just connect with people more and give people a little bit more meat on the bone, for them to sink into, as far as who we are, what we're about, our past, our background, the show, how it came to be, all that shit, everything we just discussed. And I think we just nailed that shit. I think we just hit it fucking right out of the ballpark, because I think people, anybody that doesn't already know us, like people in our lives, they just got to know us a hell of a lot better than they did before, we ever did the show. So I think we just nailed it out of the park.
Yeah, it was a great idea to have this video, to put ourselves out there. Let our fans know what SplatMan and the Gonzo Shark are all about. We're only human. We've been through some shit, and you've heard it. And so we just go with the flow. We do what we love. We just if you don't follow us on Facebook, we just made a fan page on Facebook, the AWO Show. So if you haven't liked us yet, or if you don't follow us, make sure you go on Facebook if you have one, and follow the AWO Show fan page. We're gonna be posting stuff every day, stuff that we love and we hope that you love. So eventually, I hope Gonzo Shark gets his writing on, because his writing's incredible. And yeah, that's a piece of our minds, the AWO Show, assholes with opinions. And like I always say every video, I love all my fans. I love all my haters. I love you all. I'll keep spreading my love. That's what I do. I might be an asshole. I might tell you what I think, even though it hurts, but I still love you. I'm just that type of guy.
Yep. Spread the love. That's what we're all about. Spread the fucking love, because I ain't trying to get on no negative tip. I ain't trying to have any negative vibes in my life. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to be positive every day. When I feel myself getting negative about anything, fucking do everything I can to snap myself out of that shit, because it ain't fucking worth it, and it's useless. It's pointless. It's just a waste of time. And and I know we both have that mentality, which is good, or we wouldn't be doing this right now.
Yeah, and to the haters out there, like the GOAT says, and when I say the GOAT, I mean Tom Brady. What do we do with the haters? We love them. We love them.
Yep. Yep. And I'm going to take it one step further and steal a lyric from one of my favorite bands, Attila, and say from one of their songs, if you've ever been a hater, I'm your number one fan, because that's the truth. If you feel any type of emotion about us, if you love us, if you hate us, if you're even thinking about us, that's what I want. I don't care. I just say, if you're connecting with us in any type of way, whether it's you don't like us or you do like us or whatever it is, I'm cool with it. Bring it on.
Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer.
That's right. That's right.
That's out to you, Mr. Gut.
Yeah, Mr. Gut, you
Mr.
motherfucker.
Melvin the Gut. Melvin, I'm playing pool with myself, the Gut.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Playing with balls with other dudes all day,
Yes,
all Sunday.
yes.
Um,
But hey, we love you, Melvin,
yeah,
and
we do.
we can't wait to have you back on our show, my friend,
Yep, can't wait
my
to.
my brother.
Oh, there it is. There it is, folks. There's the big secret. The Melvin the Gut and the SplatMan are brothers.
Brothers from the same mother and from the same father, even though we look nothing alike. But hey, I got the good looks thanks to my
As
mom.
as you would say, two stinkies. No, two dinkies from the same stinky.
It's supposed to be two stinkies from the same dinky,
Oh, it's two
but
stinkies from the same dinky. I thought it was two dinkies from the same stinky.
no, it isn't. But I always fuck that up, and I
You
always
always
say it
say
that
that
way.
shit, because Melvin was like,
Why's it gotta be stinky?
"Yeah, why's it gotta be stinky? That's my mother you're talking about. That's our mother."
Yep,
Oh,
we're just a bunch of stinkies from the same dinky.
yep, bunch of fucking assholes. All right, so let's fucking take this bad Larry home. You got any fucking final thoughts? Anything you want to leave these people with?
Yeah, I pretty much said it all. I know I love all you guys, fans, haters, whatever you are. We're gonna keep doing the show. I'm AWO for life, baby. No matter what. And to sum it all up, we've all been through some tough shit in life. Just stay strong, keep your head up high. To take every day, step by step. Every day's a new day. The sun will always shine on you. I'm telling you. And make sure every day you watch the AWO show because we're fucking awesome.
Yep, exactly. And like always, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Click that red bell. That way you can get notified as soon as we drop a new movie or a new video, whatever it is. And we're like we said at the beginning of 2019, in one of our previous videos, these new shows are going to be coming fast and furious. And we've already cranked out so many this year, and we're just going to keep that trend going and work harder than we did last year. And like Splatman said, we just launched the AWO Show Facebook page. So if you have Facebook, like he said earlier, check it out. AWO Show, just search for that. You'll be able to find us real easy. You'll see that AWO NWO style logo, and all kinds of crazy, freaky shit on that channel, because that's what we do. And an AWO Show Instagram will be coming very shortly. I'm going to launch that probably within the next week. So that's another exciting thing. We also have an AWO Show Twitter. If you just search AWO Show on Twitter, I think the handle is actually AWO Show for Life on Twitter, and usually I put that in the description anyway of our videos, so you can find it below in the description. But yeah, we love to hear your feedback. I feel like we just cranked out like a heartfelt show, something from fucking deep inside, a lot of shit that we wanted to talk about. And over the last 8 or 9 months that we've been doing this show, I think that we've both kind of subconsciously felt like we're going to get to this point where we were going to kind of just, let everybody know as much about us as we could to really connect with them. So I hope that's what we accomplished today with this video. And please, we'd love your feedback. Anything that you guys feel, anything you want to say, there's a whole comments thread below. You can drop your comments. Most of the time we'll reply. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I love you. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of our subscribers, all of our new subscribers, the massive reception that we've gotten in the last day with the AWO Show Facebook page. A lot of new likes, a lot of people following it, a lot of people liking what they see, discovering us. So I'm thankful for that. So yeah, like I said, we're going to keep this trend going. We're going to keep this train rolling. And I appreciate you guys watching. I love you guys. Till next time, this is Gonzo Shark checking out. Peace.
Yeah, and to a quick shout out to everybody in our home city, in our small ass state of Rhode Island. We love you guys. Rhode Island every day, repping Woonsocket. You think it's shitty, but there's some fucking awesome people in it. Remember that. Splatman's out of here, guys. Peace.
Yeah, baby. Remember, right there, Rhode Island hardcore every day.
I'm not a crook.
Peace.